Fanasa Arku Korsah. Akroma saden krana Arku Korsah krana nya akroma fe. Akoko pa bumu bupa saden enya akroma fe da obeso mu kwe. So it sounds like Arku Korsah krana enya akroma fe da. But that's his name, Kobina Arku Korsah. That means Kobina Arku Korsah. Kobina Arku Korsah. He was a Sir, so you dare not mention his name without the Sir. So Sir Kobina Arku Korsah. He was born sometime on the 3rd of April 1894. He was born on the 3rd of April 1894. You turn the date upside down, the year upside down, and it's the birth date of many young people. Many old people same way. You turn 1894 up, and you have you have a very, very, you see me, but he was born around that area. He was born around that time, 3rd April 1894. 1894. He was actually born here in Gold Coast, Gold Coast. Then Gold Coast, now Ghana. He was the first Chief Justice of Ghana in 1956. He was the first Chief Justice of Ghana in 1956. He was born in Salt Pond. Korsah was educated at Infantepim School, Fora Bay College. He got BA degree in 1915. He also schooled or got education from Durham University. He proceeded to the London University and obtained his LLB in 1919. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the first Chief Justice of Ghana, largely the first Chief Justice here in Africa, Sir Kobina Arku Korsah. Proud Ghanaian, son of the soil, without apology. Korsah won the Cape Coast seat in the 1927 Gold Coast general election. He won the Cape Coast seat in the 1927 Gold Coast general election. He was one of the 9 Africans to be represented in the Legislative Assembly at that time. He was one of the 9 Africans to be represented in the Legislative Assembly at the time. He was re-elected for the same seat in 1931, re-elected in 1935, general elections. Sir Kobina Arku Korsah is the man I'm talking about, is the man we have our spotlight on in this edition. In 1942, Nana Sir Oforiatta and Sir Arku Korsah were the first 2 Ghanaians to be appointed to the Executive Council of the Legislative Council by the then Governor of the Gold Coast, Sir Alan Burns. If you don't know this man, one of these days I'll be telling you about this man, Nana Sir Oforiatta, the first. Nana Sir Oforiatta, the first. Not the Oforiatta not the one on your money, on your notes, the big 6. No, this is actually the original Oforiatta the first. Sir Nana Oforiatta the first. He was born on 11th October 1888. He died on the 21st of August 1943. He was the Ochehene and the king of the Achim people and the Achim of the Achim Abuakwa. He was the Ochehene and the king of the Achim people and of the Achim Abuakwa, a traditional kingdom that stretches back to the 19th century and was one of the most influential kingdoms of the Gold Coast colony at the time. He ruled from his election in 1912 to his death in 1943. One of these days I will tell you extensively about him, but together with him, Sir Arku Korsah were the first 2 Ghanaians to be appointed to the Executive Council of the Legislative Council by the then Governor of the Gold Coast, Sir Alan Burns. Akosa was one of the 20 founding members of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences in 1959. He was one of the 20 founding members of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences in 1959. After the Kulungungu attack on the President Kwame Nkrumah those days, at the time in August 1962, after the Kulungungu attack on President Kwame Nkrumah in August 1962, Sir Akosa presided over the trial of 5 defendants. He presided over the trial of 5 defendants. At the end of the trial, 3 of the accused were found not guilty, and this displeased Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's government. Nkrumah sacked him. He sacked him as Chief Justice in December 1963 unconstitutionally. Today, Ghanaians are raising a lot of eyebrows. People are lamenting about the works of the judiciary. You know, a lot of concerns are being raised. One of a senior citizen of the country actually called on the government in power to check the way court rulings are always in their favor. It doesn't really augur well for democracy, and it's a recipe for disaster. He called their attention. He told them, don't listen. Anytime we take an issue to court, all the time since they came to power, all the time. You find jury 7, 8, 6. Different from them. Unanimous. Inti yakoba ni say, Ubia semenye de just aban kwana sem na yede okruma. Ubia semenye de biom. Ubia semo pa fatu hosen enye de. Just aban kwana sem. And people are raising concerns. Now, in the era of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, such concerns were raised by fathers and grandfathers of the people in power today. Fathers and the grandfathers of the people in power today raised the same concerns when Dr. Kwame Nkrumah abused power. When the ruling does not go in his favor, he fires you. And Akosa was a victim of that particular fire. Akosa was fired because he presided over a trial of defendants of the Kulungungu bomb attack on Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in August 1962. Those people were put before court, and he was the judge presiding over that case. At the end of the trial, 3 of the accused were found not guilty. This particular ruling displeased Kwame Nkrumah's government, and Kwame Nkrumah sacked him, fired him as Chief Justice in December 1963. And people actually refer to that particular fire as unconstitutional. Today, a lot of similar stuffs are happening, even though firing are not done. Probably we would have gotten someone fired if we weren't having unanimous. But because we are having unanimous outcomes, nobody is fired. But probably we would have gotten a fire shot if we had not been getting unanimous. But Kwame Nkrumah yebi yakahu asem omonananom omojanomu nekahu asem. They even described one of these actions of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah that made Akosa a victim unconstitutional. One of his sons, Roger, was a high court judge too in Ghana. He moved to Zimbabwe, where he became a judge on the Supreme Court of Zimbabwe. One of his sons, Akosa's sons, called Roger, was a high court judge here in Ghana. He later moved to Zimbabwe, where he became a judge on the Supreme Court of Zimbabwe. He died in February 2007. I'm talking about the son, the Roger. He died in February 2007. 2017, I beg your pardon, February 2017. But Sir Kobina Arku died on the 25th of January 1967. He died on the 25th of January 1967. Sir Akosa, Chief Justice of Ghana. He was the first in Ghana and the first in Africa at large. Great man by our standards, firm by our standards. As fearful as Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was, he looked up into his face, straight up into his face and the face of his government and told them the truth. 3 of these accused are not guilty. I will not sentence them condemn them because you brought them before me. Let me be truthful. 3 of these people are not guilty. Nkrumah got displeased. The government weren't happy. They weren't happy about the outcome of his ruling. So they sacked him. He accepted his faith as a truthful judge who acted constitutionally, who acted to protect the integrity of the bar, but he became a victim of the situation. So today we remember Sir Kobina Arku Korsah. You know, we remember him today. We put some honor upon his memory. We put some honor upon his name. Even if nobody remembers him, we will remember him. We will remember him. We will make sure we put his, crown on him. Even if the BBC, even if the CNN, even if the Al Jazeera's don't pay attention to these legendaries emerging out of our geographical location, our geographical, positioning, we would do so. Put some spotlight on them. He was a legend and still a legend even in his grave. Sir Kobina Arku Korsah.